of you who may be new to IKG Wisdom Wednesday is a monthly lecture series that we hold here on Zoom. We're based out of Washington, D.C., and we used to hold them in person until COVID, and now we've been virtual. And what we do is bring various speakers from around the country here to speak on topics related to Black people. It could be topics around economics, education, history, spirituality, and even tonight, technology. So we thank you for joining us. We invite you to check out our website, IKG Cultural Resource Center, to learn more about IKG programming, including Wisdom Wednesday, the Egypt on the Potomac field trips, and our tours to Egypt. This summer actually will be a tour to London and France, but you can check out more information on those programs at our website. I want to also invite you all to check out our director, Tony Browder, every Wednesday on WPFW radio station 89.3. You can hear Tony every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. With his new show on that station. So hopefully you all can check that out. As always, I want to just go over some brief housekeeping. So this is a webinar, which means that your cameras and your audio is automatically turned off. We ask that you engage with us through the chat. And so as you're coming on in, please feel free to drop a note of where you're checking in from, and we're going to shout you out in just this moment. Throughout the program, if any questions arise that you would like to ask our presenter, we do ask that you place those questions specifically in the Q&A box, and there will be a Q&A session at the end of tonight's program. So as we're getting started, just want to acknowledge the family who's in the room. One of the things while doing Wisdom Wednesday virtually is that we get a chance to share this information with a lot more people globally. So we want to shout out the family checking in from Decatur, Georgia, South Carolina, Alexandria, Virginia, Silver Spring, Maryland, Florida, Michigan, Bermuda, of course, Washington, D.C. We have Atlanta in the house, Florida, Bowie, Maryland in the house. Let's see, we have Brooklyn in the house. Welcome, New York fam. Suitland, Maryland, Virginia again, Oxon Hill, Maryland, Houston, Texas, South Carolina again, Chicago, Chi-Town. Welcome, Chi. Welcome, you all. Kentucky's in the house. Okay, so they're coming on in. Thank you all. Continue to post in the chat where you are checking in from. We are, again, thankful and happy to have you this evening. So this evening, we are pleased to present Dr. Rick Mathis, who will be speaking on Ancestral Intelligence to AI, Bridging the Past and Future. And I'm going to ask for Dr. Rick Mathis to come on screen while I introduce him.
Greetings, greetings, greetings.
Greetings. Okay, so Dr. Mathis writes, in Ancestral Intelligence to AI, Bridging the Past and Future, we will embark on a journey to uncover the wisdom embedded within ancient practices and the promise of future technologies. Tonight's presentation explores how ancestral knowledge and cultural heritage can inform and empower modern artificial intelligence, creating solutions rooted in both tradition and innovation. By looking to the past, we tap into a wealth of strategies and frameworks that speak to resilience, community, and ingenuity, offering perspectives that technology alone cannot fully replicate. Tonight, we will delve into how AI can serve as a bridge, integrating historical insights with future advancements to address contemporary issues, from environmental challenges to social disparities. This presentation highlights the importance of cultural context in AI applications, ensuring that technological growth remains human-centered, inclusive, and meaningful. We thank you for joining us as we embark to discover how the values and intelligence of our ancestors can guide the ethical evolution of AI, shaping a future that honors the legacy of those who came before us. And a little bit about our speaker, Dr. Rick Mathis, also known as the Documentary King, is an accomplished filmmaker and author with over 20 years of experience in photojournalism. In 2023, he received his doctorate in entertainment and media studies. Based in Atlanta, Georgia, he founded West End Filmmakers and is internationally recognized as a leading director, producer, and writer. Dr. Mathis began his career in the performing arts in 1997, performing original poetry and managing talent for HBO's Def Poetry Jam. In 2016, former President Barack Obama awarded Mathis the President's Lifetime Achievement Award for his humanitarian efforts and community service. In 2023, he received an additional Lifetime Achievement Award from President Joe Biden, among other awards. He has successfully executed national and global brand campaigns for Pepsi, Essence Music Festival, Delta Airlines, 100 Black Men, Walmart, Home Depot, and Big Brothers Big Sisters. He is currently scheduled to release a documentary with Dr. Boyce Watkins entitled B1, The Code of Blackness. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Rick Mathis.
Thank you. How y'all feeling tonight? So definitely want to thank you all for allowing me to share your platform with me. Anthony Browder, his daughter, his daughter, and the young lady that I'm trying to remember your name. Adua is how you say your name?
Adjoa, yes.
Adjoa, okay.
Adjoa.
Adjoa. So definitely excited to be here, man. Dr. Browder, Anthony Browder was in Atlanta, and this whole situation came up. He was in Atlanta for an event, honoring Asa Hilliard. And he said, we were talking about AI. He was like, man, that's an interesting perspective. Man, what do you think about coming on the Wisdom Wednesdays, to talk about it? And I was like, that'd be a great idea. So here we are, people. So we're ready to dive into this, man. This is an exciting time. AI, if you haven't noticed, is disrupting the entire planet. And it's an amazing time to be alive, because what's happening is AI is leveling the playing field. So what we're going to do today, or what I'm going to share with you all today, is that connection, that bridge of ancestral intelligence and artificial intelligence, and how it connects the past with the future. So I do everything, or I present all of my information under my brand called Amplified Intelligence. Because what AI does is it amplifies your intelligence. So when you're utilizing AI, you want to become what's called AI adjacent. And AI adjacent simply means that you're using these AI tools, these AI platforms, to amplify your intelligence. So if you can, please scan this QR code. This is AI. Everything you see tonight, this whole presentation, everything that we're going to talk about is done by creating a workflow using AI tools. So what this particular QR code is, it's my 1-800 number. And if you scan this 1-800 number, it's going to allow you to become part of my team, part of my network, because it's going to capture your phone number when you scan it. And then it's going to ask you for an email. And then after you answer the questions, it's going to give you a free gift. So this is a tool that I encourage each and every one of you to start using, to learn more about, and I'll share more information about it as we go. But this is a chat bot that's going to work for me while I'm doing this presentation, because that's what this is all about. It's about incorporating your workflow and showing how the ancestral intelligence and the artificial intelligence is connected. So that's the 1-800 number if you want to click in the 1-800 number, but I want you all just to scan it so you can see how it works. So today what we'll be doing, this is kind of outline of our agenda today. So today what we'll be doing is defining and showing the connection between ancestral intelligence and artificial intelligence. We'll also go through some prompts to show you how to prompt AI, because that's really the biggest secret with it. You have to ask the right questions. You know, it's kind of like if you're going to an oracle, you know what I'm saying? If you don't ask the right questions, you don't get the right answer. So it's the same way with artificial intelligence. If you don't ask the right questions, you don't get the right answers. So we'll be doing that, as well as an exercise with ChatGPT and a couple of other things that we're going to go through. We're going to show how to incorporate AI chatbots, because AI chatbots, you're going to be able to have an army of AI chatbots working for you. So put in the chat. Let me see here. Let's go here, because I want to look at the chat as well. How many people on here are entrepreneurs and have businesses? If you have a business, put a 1 in the chat so I can see how many entrepreneurs, how many people on here. Okay, man, this is gonna be great for y'all. I mean, when y'all see this, you're gonna be like, wow. So imagine being on the beach, being in Bermuda, working, and your AI chatbots are working for you. That's what we're showing you. So we're showing you the connection, the right consciousness to operate and be anchored in, and then how these AI chatbots will actually work for you. So let's first start here by defining what is ancestral intelligence as it relates to artificial intelligence. So ancestral intelligence is the original AI. That's right, people. It's the original AI. It's a natural and cultural algorithm that combines biological, spiritual, and social elements to create a dramatic, evolving system of wisdom in a spiritual or metaphysical framework, kind of like the Akashic records. So understanding and integrating ancestral intelligence ensures that innovation remains rooted in human values, collective history, and sustainable progress. Now that part right there, that's very important, because when you're utilizing AI, you need to be anchored in something, because what happened is you play in the world of your imagination. And as you and I know, when you're playing in the world of imagination, you can get lost in the world of imagination. So now, artificial intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is basically teaching machines how to think and act like a human. So when you're utilizing artificial intelligence, and when you look at what artificial intelligence is, nobody really knows what it is. It's a big umbrella that a whole lot of technology is under. But to kind of sum it up, it's really teaching machines how to think and act like a human. So as we give you some examples of what ancestral intelligence is and what artificial intelligence is. So when you look at ancestral intelligence, you're looking at programming encoded in biological DNA, cultural DNA, and spiritual frameworks. So to put that in more of a layman's terms, you're looking at our traditions, you're looking at our rituals, and you're looking at storytelling. You're going to constantly hear me say storytelling, storytelling, because that's what this thing with AI is. When you really start to use it and you really understand how to utilize the prompts, it's all about crafting the right story in that prompt. So when you look at artificial intelligence, some examples will be Siri, chatbots, AI agents, which I'm going to show you like an amazing demonstration with these AI agents, where it's going, some of the things that you will hear that these AI agents can do for you is going to be like, wow. And all of this is coming up in 2025. So, we're right around the corner. So when you're planning your 2025, you want to start looking at, how do I incorporate AI agents in my workflow? Because it's all about automation, right? So you want to use these AI tools to automate your workflow, because AI was made to be you and automation was made to do you. So AI simply is you. It's a reflection of you. Automation is made to do you, so you don't have to labor and do the work. We're living in a time now where you're going to be able to create these AI agents and have these AI agents go to work on your behalf. So it's an exciting time, people. Let me hear you put exciting in the chat, like excitement or something. You know what I'm saying? Put one in the chat if you're excited about this particular time that we're in, and if you're excited about learning how to use AI. Like, because I'm telling you, man, there's some exciting things. Like I'm excited about it. Like every night I go to sleep with it. I wake up to it. So that's what this is about. So again, my name is Dr. Rick Mathis. I'm a filmmaker from the west side of Atlanta. So for all my bougie people, that's Cascade Road. For my educated gangsters, that's Adamsville. And for all my freedom fighters, that's West End. As Abraham Lincoln once said, all that I am and all that I ever will become, I owe to my mother, Miss Gwendolyn Lewis. So in the spirit of Miss Gwendolyn Lewis, I take this top off the bottle and I say, Ashe. I pour it right here in the flower next to me. So at this time, I want y'all to put your ancestors' name in the chat so I can call them out and we can bring them into this particular presentation. Because what's going to happen is we're bringing the ancestors into this presentation so we can be anchored, as I stated before, in our ancestors. We got Jerome and Ashe. We got George, Ashe, Mary. Who else in there? It's going fast because Anne, Ashe. We got Charlie, Ashe. Lisa Michelle, Ashe. We got Erna, Ashe. John, Ashe. We got, who else? We have Tina, Ashe. Jean Robert, Ashe. So we bringing all of those spirits in the room, man, because this is an exciting time. AI, there's no reason to be afraid of AI. AI simply mirrors us. And what I'm going to share with you all tonight, I'm going to share with y'all how it mirrors us. And there's no reason to be afraid of. What happens is oftentimes people don't use AI because they are afraid of it, because they don't understand it. And the ones that are using it or start to use it get frustrated with it because they run into like a roadblock or something like that. So at the end of this presentation, I'm going to share my personal phone number, as well as a way you can, get in contact with me, because we have classes, we have master classes and things like that to help you get affiliated with AI by scanning that QR code that was in the beginning. It's going to put you in the click funnel, and then I can follow up with you all, in regards to how this presentation was and where you need help, learning about AI. So, it's an exciting time, people. When I tell you I'm excited about, it's a very, very exciting time, So We're going to amplify your intelligence today. So I always pay homage to Mom, Miss Gwendolyn Lewis. I started the Gwen Lewis Foundation for her. You know, she has transitioned now and become an ancestor, but I always pay tribute to her because I love her dearly. And I want to always keep her and remind her that I'm doing this for her. These are some of the awards that I have received, and I share this with you because, you know, I've had a very successful career in film production. Had the opportunity to receive a proclamation, as you'll see right here, from the Atlanta Fulton County Arts, where we were down in the chambers and was presented with this particular award, or let me say, a proclamation with my own day. So November the 1st in Atlanta is officially Rick Mathis Day. It's on the records. I'm also a distinguished visitor. I've seen a proclamation from Miami for a distinguished visitor. As was stated earlier, 2 Lifetime Achievement Awards. That's the graduation from Harvard Christian University, a university based in Dallas. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you all right now, there's an AI tool where you can take your bio and information about you, and guess what? When you upload it, it'll create a podcast that have 2 people talking about who you are. So what I want to do is share a little bit of that because, again, this whole presentation, I'm sharing AI tools. I'm sharing information on how I'm using these AI tools, these AI platforms to help me become AI adjacent and to amplify my intelligence. So I want to share, let me go back. I want to share a little bit of my presentation, which I had to bring it out so I can click on that. So this, again, is a podcast, and this is going to blow your mind. This is a podcast that was created from my bio, from my capabilities brief. So I uploaded a few documents in this particular AI platform, and it created this. I want to share about 2 or 3 minutes of it, just so you all can see how these AI tools are being utilized. Okay.
All right, so buckle up because today we are diving headfirst into the world of Dr. Rick Mathis.
Oh, this is going to be good.
This is a filmmaker who honestly makes the term multi-talented feel, well, a little underwhelming.
A little bit, yeah.
We are talking 2-time Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award winner, FAA certified drone pilot. This guy's got some serious range.
Yeah, no kidding. And you know what's really striking to me? It's how his background, like all those different pieces, they kind of come together to shape his whole approach to filmmaking. You don't often find someone who's equally at ease with the like super technical side of things, the drones and all that.
Right.
But then can also, you know, bring that artistry that earns those presidential accolades. Yeah. That's a unique combination.
It's not just like, oh, I'm good with the camera. It's like, I can tell a story with a purpose, which, by the way, is their company tagline, storytelling with purpose.
It's not just about making a cool video.
No.
It's about having something to say.
Exactly. So it's more than just, you know, pretty pictures or fancy equipment. So speaking of the company, Mathis Multimedia Group, what is it that they actually do?
Well, and that's the thing, right? You look at their list of services and it's extensive, to say the least.
Yeah.
Documentaries,
commercials, music videos,
podcasts, even.
They are not afraid to try new things.
No, and that's what's so crucial in the media landscape today, right? It's constantly evolving.
It really is.
You got to be able to move with it.
So speaking of evolving,
Uh-oh, here we go.
There's one bullet point on their services list that really caught my eye, and it's AI integration.
Ooh, the buzzword of the century. But I'm interested. Tell me more.
Okay, it's not just like, oh, we use AI. They offer workshops and master classes on it. So clearly this is something that Dr. Mathis is really passionate about.
It's not just a gimmick then.
It's not, and that makes me even more curious because honestly, we don't have a ton of info on exactly how they're using AI just based on this material, but I'm already imagining the possibilities.
Oh,
so what do y'all think? Put in the chat a one in the chat if your mind is blown by that. So no longer are you sending bios, are you sending creative briefs? No longer are you sending that. You just click the link, boom, and you send this to them. You send them a YouTube link. You send them a Google link and let them play this. So imagine sending that to a potential client when they ask, well, what have you done? What's your track record? Why should I do business with you? So imagine sending that to them. You know, I've sent it to a couple of people and they were like, Rick, bro, this is this is out of sight. So what that is though, it's really playing in the world of imagination. So like what is it that makes all of this stuff click? You know what I'm saying? And what makes it click is really playing in the world of your imagination. So right now, what I want to do is I want to do this exercise with you, right? So this exercise really shows how the imagination works. So right now, I want you to say this line right here. On the count of 3, we're going to say it together. You're going to put your name in this blank here, and then you're going to say, you are the dopest person that I know. So if it was me, it would be Rick Mathis or Dr. Rick Mathis. You are the dopest person that I know. So on the count of 3, let's say it out loud and say it with feeling and emotion, because that's the other thing that you have to really put in it when you're amplifying your intelligence. You have to put feeling and emotion in order to bring these things into existence in this physical plane, because it's already in the spiritual plane, but we have to bring it into the physical plane, because success happens twice, as my spiritual dad, Mr. Les Brown, say, once in the mind and once in the physical. Definitely. So let's say it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Rick Mathis, you are the dopest person that I know. Y'all feel that? That feels good to you? So now I want you to say the same thing, but this time I want you to say it with your inner voice, meaning you're not speaking it, you're saying it with your voice, you're saying it within. So on the count of 3, that same passion, that same emotion, that same energy, I want you to say it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, when you said that, who was speaking, who was listening, and who was the other person observing? It was 3 things happening. So that's going into the world of your imagination. Because now what you're doing is you're going in different dimensions to where you're going outside of time, space. You're going outside of that. And that's what our ancestors did when they made these magnificent pyramids and put the hieroglyphs or the, metaneta on the walls. That's what they were doing. They were really tapping down into the world of their imagination to bring these things out, so that when we look at those pyramids, we know that they were here. We can see the magnitude of their intellect. Because if you haven't been to the pyramids, I've been, some years ago, it's time for me to go back. But if you haven't been, when you go and you see the monuments, when you see the artwork, when you see how all of this stuff is engraved in stone, and it's engraved to perfection, you're like, wow, how did they do this? You know what I'm saying? So it's just mind-blowing, but they left that there as evidence for us to know this is the frequency that we were operating on. This was how we amplified our intelligence to leave something for you. So when you see this, you're like, wow, they really did this. There's no way that could ever be erased from this planet. They've tried and they're still trying. It's still there. So that's what this takes. It takes going into the world of your imagination and bridging the ancient wisdom with modern AI. And we'll call that the Egyptian connection. So in this presentation, we explore the fascinating parallels between modern artificial intelligence and the ancestral intelligence of ancient Egypt. We'll also uncover how the hieroglyphic structures, learning processes, and philosophical approaches of these two systems mirrors each other across the millennium. Like it's a mirror, it's boom, one and the same. So that's what we're going to delve into, you know what I'm saying? Because once you're accessing this information or this knowledge, you're operating in three different realms or phases. Number one, you're operating through the Akashic records. And what I mean by operating through the Akashic records, you're accessing information, you're accessing data through meditation and a heightened consciousness. You're also accessing ancestral wisdom by tapping in via your dreams, your visions, and your communal rituals. That's how you access that ancestral wisdom. And then when you look at the AI system, you're accessing this data, or you're processing this data through algorithms to create actionable outputs. So what you're doing, so all this is data, people. Your DNA, the chemical makeup is data. Because I'm here to tell you, the future is inside of me. The future is inside of me. I know you probably heard Tupac Shakur say that before. I didn't know what he meant when he said it back then when I was young listening to the record. But now I totally understand what he means when he say the future is inside of me. Because that data, that DNA, every book you ever need to read is already inside of you. The information that you're accessing through these AI prompts, through using ChatGPT, that information is already inside of you. You're just asking the right question, prompting it to get the right answer again, because we've been in a sleep, we've been in a slumber, and we've forgotten that information. So when you're bridging these two things, when you're bridging the physical and the metaphysical, again, you're going into the Akashic records. You're accessing ancestral intelligence. You're accessing artificial intelligence. So let's look at how this information is accessed. So through Akashic records, they exist beyond time and space, while the ancestral intelligence and the AI operate within a tangible realm. However, both serve as bridges. Both connect each other. When you're looking at the ancestral intelligence, it acts as a link between the spiritual and the material worlds, often manifesting as your intuition, your inherent talents, or cultural practices. So that's your ancestors, that's your DNA, that's the Akashic records, that's the stuff that's deeply embedded within you, right? So when you look at artificial intelligence connects the abstract world of algorithms and data, because everything that's in artificial intelligence operates through data. So it's connecting the abstract world of algorithms, because again, the universe, nature is based on what? A rhythm. So those algorithms are what? A rhythm. It's a cycle. So that's how they can look at those algorithms and project or predict what's going to happen in the future. So when you're looking at the algorithms and the data with real world applications like automation, which is what we're going to talk about when we talk about the AI agents, when I show you this, it's going to all click and make sense. You're going to be like, wow, okay, I get it now. So when you operate in the real world with these applications, like through automation, through creativity, through problem solving, together, they reflect the Akashic principles. By translating the infinite into forms humans can comprehend and use. So it's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? So, again, like I said, we're in a great time, man. And utilizing these tools, let me tell you something. When you're utilizing these tools are going to amplify your intelligence, right? Because AI is advancing so rapidly and will continue to shape the world, regardless of who's in the White House. Y'all hear me? Regardless of who's in the White House, these AI tools, this information, this data is going to continue to reshape the world, but it's up to you to actually invest a certain amount of time each day, because every day we're giving 86,400 seconds. So how you use and invest that time and allocate that time depends on how successful you're going to be. So it doesn't matter who's in the White House. It's up to you to utilize these tools so that you can automate your systems. Because again, the playing fields have been somewhat leveled or somewhat being leveled through this new technology. And once you see the demonstration at the end with the AI agents, you're going to be like, oh, I can have this, I can have that. Because these AI agents that you're going to create and they're going to learn your habits, they're going to be with you from beginning, from now when you create it, to the rest of your life. Just think about that for a minute. Just think about that for a minute. What do y'all think about that? I need to go back to the chat, right? What do y'all think about creating an AI agent? It's kind of scary, but at the end of the day, I'm anchored in my ancestors and my ancestors got me. But what do y'all think about creating an AI agent today that's going to be with you until you transition into the next phase of life? That's somebody say that's scary. I know, right? It's interesting and it's like, but this is the time we are in, people. The future is here. The future is here. So this is the time that we're in. So you just got to get ready, because if you're a business owner, let me tell you something. There are going to be two types of businesses in the near future. The ones that utilize AI and automate their processes and systems, and the ones that are out of business, well, they're going to utilize them and they're going to be winning. Let me say that part, because it's real important to know that they're going to utilize these tools, they're going to create automations, and they're going to win, because you can do 100 times the amount of work with these AI agents that you can do if you had a physical body doing these things. Because guess what? They don't get sick. They're not going to call in. They don't talk back. They don't do none of that. Only thing they do is work, whatever you tell them to do, right? So there are going to be two types of business. They're going to be one that is utilizing these AI tools to automate their business and win and amplify their intelligence. And the other will be out of business, because guess what? They didn't use the tools. They said, oh, that's scary. Oh, that's something that's not going to be around the next 5 years. That'll never happen. You know, some people say that. That'll never happen. Da, 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 da. So there'll be two types of business. Me and my household. We're going to be utilizing these AI tools and we're going to automate everything. So we'll be on the beach sipping margaritas and pina coladas and checking on the AI agents, making sure everything is being automated. It's a great time, people. I'm telling you, it's a great time. So when you look at the cosmic web of intelligence, and we're talking about not just physical, right? We're talking about something that transcends this physical world, right? We're talking about the Akashic records. Again, we're talking about ancestral wisdom. We're talking about AI. So when you embark on the journey, exploring the interconnectedness of universal knowledge, human heritage, and technological advancements, this presentation, what I will share with you all today, will unravel the fascinating parallels between the Akashic records, ancestral intelligence, and artificial intelligence, revealing how they mirror each other in a quest for understanding. So one of the things that when you look at the nature of AI, it's made on the nature, or it's made, I like to say, in the image and likeness of us. Artificial intelligence is made in the image and likeness of human beings, right? So when you're looking at artificial intelligence, you have 5 senses, right? So you have the visual. And an example of the visual is AI can analyze images with superhuman accuracy, identifying objects, faces, and emotions. Like, you know how you utilize your phone and it recognizes your face and it unlocks the phone? That's one example of it. You know what I'm saying? And also, if you're using tools like Midjourney and things like that, it can create realistic images from text descriptions, from prompts, that really is so somewhat like, if you, all the images and the things that you see here, even this chart right here, I use AI to do it. So that's the visual part. So when you're looking at the hearing, the audible part, AI processes sound in a sophisticated way, uncovering speech to text. So I'll do a demonstration in a few minutes where I'm actually speaking to AI and it speaks back to me and it addresses me as Dr. Mathis, and we have a conversation. Oh, the exercise that I have for that is going to be real intriguing. I hope Mr. Browder is on here, Anthony Browder is on here, because we got a demonstration with him that's going to be like really, really interesting and fun. So so that's the hearing. So when you think about the touch, you know how the touch of AI mimics the senses in touch through sensors, through measuring pressure, temperature, and texture. So when I touch my phone, it responds. I can move with the touch of my phone. That's AI. But if I put, you know, a pencil or something else on the screen and try to move or try to access something, it doesn't work because it's programmed to the human touch. And the other two, you have smell, which AI-powered sensors can detect and identify a wide range of odors, opening doors for advancement in environmental monitoring, security, and even medical diagnosis. So like all of this stuff is made in the image and likeness of us. So when you look at smell, you're like, wow, that's bananas. So taste, AI is being developed to analyze taste profiles. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I was like, now how they gonna do taste? I still don't understand how they do taste. I don't, because I'm like, is that part of that cloning? I see somebody put in the chat, we cloned it. Is that part of the cloning that they're talking about? Maybe, it could be. So that's what it is. So I'm telling you, man, this stuff is made in the image and likeness of us. How much time we got? So we're at 7:49. I was going to create a song. I was going to have us create a song, but I know we have to end at, I think, 8:15 or something
Oh
like that.
no, at 8:30, so you have time.
8:30?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so we
We play with
have
that time. So
40
go
minutes.
ahead and do your thing.
Yeah, we have 40 minutes. So what I'll do is I created this song utilizing AI, and I use Suno. So if you don't know about Suno, write down Suno. I'm actually going to give you an acronym for 5 AI tools that you should be using. But I created the song, and we want, I'll just play the song. I want to let y'all hear the song that I created for Wisdom Wednesdays. Let me see. So this is the song. When you go in Suno, you'll actually play which one? The hip hop version. I think it was the fresh one. We'll play a little bit of both of them. But what happens when you go in Suno, it actually creates two songs based on the prompt again that you give it. So I created this song and I put our names in the song and all of that. So it's pretty cool.
Ancient thrones and skies, wisdom, Western will so wise. And one bring the light, ancestral knowledge out of sight. Bustling streets and stories old. Dr. Mathis bridging tales untold. From past to future we will glide. History's wisdom as our guide. Feel the lead from our ancestors. AI learns with the professors. Future tech with ancient.
So that one is all right. I like that one a little bit, right? That was just, but I like this one much better.
Ancient scrolls in midnight skies. Wisdom Wednesday, we're so wise. Anthony and Todd will bring the light. Ancestral knowledge out of sight. Building streets and stories old. Dr. Mathis preaching tales untold. From past to future, we will glide. History's wisdom as our guide. Feel the beat from our ancestors. AI learns with our professors. Future tech with ancient vibes. Wisdom Wednesday never lies.
So that one is cool too. I actually wanted to take our time. So I created those just as backup. But I actually was going to go through and create some, but I said, let's just play those for the sake of time because I want to make sure that we get through the information. So this right here really is a diagram that really allows you to see how everything operates under artificial intelligence. So you have artificial intelligence, which is like the umbrella that everything lives under, right? Then you have machine learning. Then you have neural networks. You have deep learning, and you have generative AI. So this is like a map here. So I'm going to give you an example and kind of break down a couple of those. But this right here diagram is like one of the diagrams that I found that really shows how to utilize AI. It shows what the framework of AI should say. So when you look at artificial intelligence, it's basically the overarching concept. When you look at machine learning, it's specialized subfields. So it's like the subsidiaries under artificial intelligence. When you look at neural networks, they are the interconnected systems, right? When you look at generative AI like ChatGPT, which is what the G stands for, the generative in ChatGPT, it's the creative output. So the hierarchy of AI mirrors ancient Egyptian structures. AI as a whole represents ma'at, balance. Machine learning parallels specialized disciplines like medicine and astronomy because, you have to there's certain disciplines that you have to learn. Neural networks reflect the interconnectedness of thought, similar to like mind, body, soul connection and the comedic understandings. And generative AI echoes the creative principles of deities like Ptah. So you see the connection of how these things are made in the image and likeness of us. I'm telling you, there's nothing new under the sun, right? So when you look at deep learning and the spiritual mastery, right? So when you're looking at deep learning, there's multiple layers of processing, extracting increasingly abstract features from raw data. So all of this stuff is coming from raw data. When you look at the Egyptian mystery schools, it's like progressive stages of learning from basic symbols to deeper spiritual truths. So of course, when you have, the metaneta on the wall, all of those are symbols that create this story that creates the output that we want. So if you look at these symbols, as we know today, we don't necessarily use pictures. They are pictures, but they're called letters. So imagine, if you will, each letter being a symbol like the metadata, the hieroglyphics that are on the Egyptian walls. It's the same thing, same science, same thing. When you look at the pattern recognition, both systems excel in identifying patterns in data or natural phenomena. So deep learning in AI parallels the layered understanding pursued in ancient Egyptian mystery school. Both systems involve progressing through levels of abstraction, from basic recognition of complex pattern identification, mirroring the journey from novice to master in spiritual practices. So they mirror each other. It's the same thing, same information. Generative AI, or the creative side of things, creates new content based on learning patterns. So when you're creating content, if you're using Midjourney, if you're using Runway ML, when you're creating those images, you're basically creating based on learned patterns. That's the generative side of AI. When you look at Ra, the sun god, it represents the daily cycle of creation and renewal. When you look at Kepra, the scarab god, it symbolizes the transformation and creation. So generative AI ability to create new context mirrors the creative powers of our Egyptian deities. Don't you feel good about being Black? Aren't you proud to be Black? If you feel good about being Black and you proud to be Black, let me see you put B1 in the chat, because B1 simply means Black first. If you proud to be Black, if you happy to be Black, let me see you put B1 in the chat, because you putting Black first. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this is. So again, man, it's our time. It's our time. It's our time to be put first. Now, this image right here, when I created this using AI, and that's the one thing that I really love about AI, because it gives us the visuals. Before AI, we would never be able to, I wouldn't say never, it would be hard for us to create an image like this. But now I can create this image in seconds, literally seconds. Something that's powerful, where you see the pyramids, you see the water, you see skyscrapers behind it. You'll never see that picture in life. When I was in Egypt, most people think the pyramids are way out, because most of the time you see them in the desert where nothing is around. When I was in Egypt, I took a picture when I was at the hotel beside the pool, and guess what? The pyramids were in the background. So right there where the pyramids are, there's a whole city around these pyramids. You know what I'm saying? But that shows you how they try to trick your mind, if you haven't been, to make you think it's way out somewhere and that's all that's there. No, that's not the case. So what I want to share, and write these AI tools down, because I want to share this, these AI tools, and I don't want to get emotional, because this particular acronym, or this system, my mom actually gave it to me on my birthday. And as I said in the beginning, she's made a transition. And people who know my mom that are on the chat here, we used to affectionately call her Miss G. So let me tell y'all the story. So I went to Houston because on my birthday, I like to kind of get away, so I don't reflect on mom. So I went to Houston with some family. I woke up about 5 o'clock and, grabbed my phone. I'm scrolling for a minute. And I see Van Jones say, if you utilize these 5 tools right here, I'm going to give you 5 tools. It's going to change your world. It can change your life. These 5 AI tools, if used properly, will change your life. And he said, I remember these tools by this acronym. I call it Miss G. And I was like, what? So if anybody, that's on here that knew mom, she was very caring. She would bring literally friends, move them in the house, feed them, take care of them. One time she brought my cousins in. My cousins was over at grandma's house, you know, sleeping on the floor. She brought them in, moved them in, and started taking care of them because they didn't have nowhere to go. You know, so she was a loving lady. Wow. So this was given to me on my birthday. So the AI tools, he said, Van Jones, I'm talking about. He said, everybody knows ChatGPT. So write that down in your notes. ChatGPT being the first tool that you incorporate. But these other 4 tools, he called Miss G. So Midjourney is, I call that the, the high-end tool because I want to actually go to it. So Midjourney is one of the tools that can be used to create images, to create, close this, to create images, to create all kinds of stuff. Like, let me show you what it is. I'm just moving things around here and put that back on the screen. So Midjourney. So this is Midjourney. Midjourney is kind of expensive though. This is the only tool on that list of tools that doesn't allow you to use it for free. It's the only one that doesn't allow you to use it for free. Like all the other ones that I'm going to name, they'll give you a certain amount of credits, or they'll give you a certain amount of chances, if you will, to use it, to get familiar with it before you have to pay for it. But Midjourney say, nah, we know we got the A1 system. We want you to pay for it. So Midjourney is one. So write that down. Midjourney is definitely a tool you want to learn and explore. Another AI tool is an AI tool called Poe, and I'll write it in the chat. And I didn't write, this is not part of the acronym, but I wanted to share this with you because what happens is, you know, signing up for subscriptions for all of these different platforms can be expensive, and you can sign up for them and you can forget that you signed up for them. How many people have you done that before? Let me put yes in the chat, like signed up for a subscription, paid for it for about 6 months, 9 months, 10 months. And you're like, damn, I'm still paying for this. Let me cancel this. So what I learned to do, I'm gonna put y'all up on game, right? So what you do for these subscriptions, the ones you want to try out, is you get you another card, another account that you don't keep a whole lot of money in, and you subscribe with that one. You know what I'm saying? You use that bank card to put it in there, so no money is in the account. Guess what? They can't charge you for it. But you have to be careful because anytime you put money in the account, even if you have a new card, I bet they're using AI, but they have it where you can where that payment will automatically kick in. I called my bank and I was like, how is this charge on here? That's a whole different card. Same account, just a different debit card. She was like, once you connect to that account, it'll kick back in and it'll boom. You know what I'm saying? So be careful with that. So Midjourney is one of them, right? So that's the M in Miss G. And then after you have Midjourney, you have this one, Runway ML. I use Runway ML all the time. Like one of the go-to for me, and Runway ML allow you to use it for free. So one of my go-tos with Runway ML is I use it. You know how if you're in production, if you're creating content, you might have an image that's like a low resolution image. So what Runway ML will do, it will upscale the image and it'll make it so it put more pixels in the image. So when you're using it in video, or if you're using it on a bigger screen, like, you know, we do this thing called the future of storytelling where we show different movies and talk about AI and how we incorporate it in content. So if we're showing it on this 32-foot screen, if those images aren't high res or high resolution, then they can look real funny on that screen, and that diminishes your production. You know what I'm saying? So I use that for, I use upscale for Runway ML, but it's a whole lot of other, like these are some of the tools right here when you go to tools that you can use Runway ML for, like generative video, video to video generation, text to image. Like it's so much you can use with these. You know what I'm saying? So you want to look at this, yes, and start using this and start amplifying your intelligence, right? That's what you want to do with this 3D capture. You know what I mean? It's all kind of stuff you can do in here. So these tools, again, so when I saw it, I was already familiar with it. Most of them I was already familiar with and using these tools, except for one. So Suno, y'all just saw Suno. We just played a song with Suno. Now, there was one song that I made, because I want to show you. Let me do this real quick. I made a song for Atlanta Black Chambers. I wanted to play that song, Chamber of the Year, because that one was good. That one was dope. I think this is it. Let me see if this is it. No, that's not it, because it was hip hop. Yeah, I think this one is it right here. Let me see if this is it.
On a chamber of the year, ATL wish out and cheer. Black excellence we hold dear. Melvin Coleman birthday here. Building dreams and paving ways. Coleman leading brighter days. Atlanta shining in a blaze. Celebrating in a days.
Yeah, so they won Black Chamber of the Year. So I made that song for Melvin Coleman, the president of the Atlanta Black Chamber. Saw it, loved it. He was like, wow, that's dope. So this one right here, so Gamma. Gamma is one of the tools that I did not use, right? So it was one of the tools that I wasn't familiar with. But guess what? It was one of the tools that I really, really needed. So I was like, you telling me, now this is one of the things that it could do, and I'm putting y'all up on game real quick, right? It's $1 million worth of game. So a lot of people create slideshow presentations. So one of the features of Gamma is you can actually create a slideshow presentation in the amount of seconds, just like that. So when you look at the slideshow presentations that I have here, I created some of those slideshow presentations from Gamma. So you can actually write out what you wanted to do, or give you a quick demonstration. Where we at 8:08 now? Give you a quick demonstration. So you can use these AI tools by way of post to text, meaning you can just post the text directly into it. You can create a one-line prompt, or you can pull files or URLs to create these slideshow presentations. So what I want to do is give me a quick one-liner. We're going to do a one-line prompt. Give me a quick one-liner. So somebody was fast. How does copyright play? Oh, okay, you was asking the question about that. From the 5 tools. Well, that's one of the questions I answer later. But give me a one-line prompt that we can, somebody has a slideshow presentation that they want to create about anything. And I'm going to show you how AI will create it just like that in a matter of seconds. With images, with the text, with everything. So put something in the chat. Beyond burnout. Okay, so you're saying how do you go, how do you get beyond burnout? Is that what you're asking? What's the definition of beauty? Okay, I like that one. We'll do that. What's the definition of beauty? This is a one-line prompt. So you would go here, you would put create a slide show presentation about, what was it? Beauty. What's the definition of Black beauty? We're gonna say Black beauty. So what's the definition of Black beauty? What's the definition of Black beauty? All right, so you can do web pages with Gamma, and you can also create other documents. I like to use it for slideshow presentations. So let's see what happens, right? So at first it's going to create an outline. You see how quick that happened? Did that just blow your mind? You're like, bam, that happened quick. What? So it created 8 slides. So when you look at Black beauty, the celebration of diversity, the roots of Black beauty traditions, embracing natural hair and textures, the evolution of Black beauty standards, representation matters, diverse beauty in media, empowering Black entrepreneurs in the beauty industry, the intersection of Black beauty and self-acceptance, cultivating a more inclusive beauty landscape. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that's some pretty dope titles or slideshows. If you think so, put a 1 in the chat. If your mind was just blown by that, right? If you was like, darn, okay, those some dope titles, yes? So what you do, it creates the outline first. And then if you want to add more slideshows, you can add more slideshows here. But then if you hit continue, okay, it asks you for the theme. It asks you, how you want to create it. So for time purposes, we're just going to do, primary button. So we're going to go here to generate. So now what it's doing is actually generating the slideshow, Black beauty. See that? Is your mind blown or what? I know when the first time I saw it, I was like, what? If your mind is blown, put it in the chat, blown. Just put that in the chat, like blown away. Boom. So now you start with slide 1, boom. Slide 2, slide 3, 4, boom, so on and so forth, right? So as I told you earlier, or shared with you, as I shared with you earlier, there are going to be 2 types of businesses. The one that are creating with AI and that have automated their businesses utilizing these AI tools, and the one that said, I'm not doing that, I'm afraid of that, that'll never happen, and that are out of business. Because how you going to compete with that? We just did a whole slideshow presentation in less than 60 seconds. We just created it. Now, when I create slideshow presentations, I'll have AI do the heavy lifting for me. And then after that, what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll revise it and make it me. Because the one thing that AI lacks is that emotional touch. They don't have that emotional touch. So they'll miss that. They'll give you facts, they'll give you data, and sometimes they hallucinate. And that's like an AI term, hallucination. What is hallucination? Hallucination is when it gives you information that's not true, when it gives you inconclusive information, or where it's partly true or something is off. So it hallucinates. So you have to go back and do what's called chain prompting. But that was dope, right? So that's when I was like, oh yeah, this right here is fire, fire. So again, those are the 4 tools. Definitely write those down. That will change your world. It will change your life. So for the sake of time, we want to go right to prompts, right? So as I shared before, prompts is the magic. That's the age of storytelling, right? So I had the opportunity to sit at the feet of one of the greatest storytellers alive, Mr. Les Brown, and be trained by him on how to tell your signature story or give your signature message. So when you're writing prompts, think of it as storytelling. You have the beginning, the middle, and the end. So I was watching Text with X. She's dope. Like, she know this AI. She's been in AI for like 12, 15 years. She used to work with Google and all of that. Look her up. So she has this formula that she used called Chat Hat. And basically she uses the acronym for HAT to prompt or write her prompt. Because now let me go back to this to tell you what prompts are. So prompts are like GPS systems in your car. Writing prompts helps to guide you. They give you a direction or a path to follow, suggesting proper terms, to take when you're not sure where to go next in your story. So with each prompt, your GPS recalibrates, helping you to avoid dead ends and stay on a clear path towards a well-structured narrative. So again, you got to have the prompts, right? So you got to prompt what you need. So what we're going to do right now, put a 1 in the chat if you're ready for your mind to be blown. One more time. Put a 1 in the chat, right? Because I'm in the mind-blowing business. Like, I get excited about this stuff because I'm looking at how much free time I'm getting ready to have. Remember back in the day, they used to say, there ain't no such thing as free time. I'm here to tell you today, it's a such thing as free time, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to my customized ChatGPT AI agent. So I've customized this AI agent, right? And what I've done is I program it to recognize who I am, the things I like, kind of my habits. So when I ask it a question, it's going to immediately kind of give me the answer that I'm looking for. So let me turn the phone up. So I'm going to do it on my cell phone. So I got ChatGPT on my cell phone. So here we go. How you doing today?
Understood, Dr. Mathis. I'll be here when you're ready to proceed.
Yeah, that was the other part. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, Dr. Mathis. Thank you for asking. How about yourself?
Man, this is the best day of my life, man.
That's fantastic to hear, Dr. Mathis. Here's to many more days like this one.
Thank you, thank you. So what I want to do is, Anthony Browder wrote this book called The Browder Files 2. In this book, he talks about how the European musicians were trying to play jazz, but they were trying to write it out and play it the same way Black people were playing it, right? So they went and took notes and they tried to play it and they came back saying, man, we can't get it. It still don't sound like what y'all are playing, right? What did we miss out? So the Black musician looks at him and says, the blue notes. So if you could give me kind of a small summary of that book and how that happened, can you give the people that story for me today?
Absolutely, Dr. Mathis. In the Browder Files 2, Anthony Browder delves into various aspects of African and African American history and culture, emphasizing the profound influence these have had on the world. The book also explores the challenges and triumphs of Black people, often through anecdotes and historical accounts that illustrate broader themes. One story Browder shares is about European musicians trying to replicate jazz, a genre deeply rooted in African American culture. The Europeans meticulously took notes, aiming to play jazz exactly as they heard it. However, despite their best efforts, they couldn't capture the essence of the music. When they asked Black musicians what they were missing, the response was simple yet profound: the blue notes. These notes, integral to jazz, embody the emotion and improvisational spirit of the genre, something that can't simply be written down or replicated through technical precision. This story underscores a larger theme in Browder's work: the idea that certain cultural nuances and expressions, particularly those born out of the Black experience, carry a depth and soul that transcends technical mastery. It's a reminder of the unique contributions of African Americans to music and culture, which can't be fully appreciated through mere imitation.
Thank you. Hey, that was dope. So you know how we do at the end, right? You know, this Dr. Rick Mathis from the west side of Atlanta. So let's end with that west side flavor, that west side swag. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely, Dr. Mathis. This is Dr. Rick Mathis, straight from the west side of Atlanta, signing off with that signature flavor. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and always keep it real. You know what I'm talking about.
Now give me that shawty. You didn't put shawty in there. You gotta do it right. That was cool, but give me that real deep, you know what I'm talking about, west side shawty flavor.
Got it, Dr. Mathis. This is Dr. Rick Mathis, coming at you from the heart of the west side, shawty. We keeping it real, we keeping it live, and we always keeping it ATL. You know what I'm talking about.
Have a good night. Now, I don't know about y'all, but this is the world we living in right now, people. In case you've been on the rock somewhere and you're afraid of AI, it's nothing to be afraid of. It's you. It's you. It's you. It's you. It's you. It's you. It's a reflection of you. So last thing that I want to share for the sake of time is seeing a presentation by the CEO of NVIDIA. NVIDIA is basically the tool that a lot of this AI stuff works on. Like right now, their stock is through the roof. Like it's crazy. The amount, one share of their stock is like through the roof. So they like really killing the game. So I want to share with you all 2 to 3 minutes of this video, and I'll put the video in the chat so you can listen to it in its entirety. But what he's talking about is AI agents, AI chatbots, digital workers, creating a digital workforce, right? So that's what he's talking about. So I want to share this with y'all so y'all can hear from the horse's mouth where all of this is right now.
So Jensen Huang recently did a special address at the NVIDIA AI Summit in Japan. And at this Japan Summit, he actually spoke about the future of AI agents for 2025. I personally believe that 2025 is shaping up to be the year of AI agents. We've seen them from Google, we've seen them from Microsoft. Now we're seeing what NVIDIA AI is cooking up with their specific AI agents. And of course, their entire ecosystem to help the broader community deploy and scale these AI agents for various different solutions.
The first AI is basically a digital AI worker. These AI workers can understand, they can plan, and they can take action. Sometimes the digital AI workers are being asked to execute a marketing campaign, support a customer, come up with a manufacturing supply chain plan, optimize a chip, help us write software, maybe be a research assistant, a lab assistant in the drug discovery industry. Maybe this agent, is a tutor to the CEO. Maybe there's a tutor for all of our employees. These digital AI workers, we call them AI agents, are essentially like digital employees. And just like digital employees, you have to train them. You have to create data to welcome them to your company, teach them about your company. You train them for their particular skills, depending on what function you would like them to have. You evaluate them after you're done training them to make sure that they learned what they're supposed to learn. You guardrail them to make sure that they perform the job they're asked to do and not the jobs they're not asked to do. And of course, you operate them, you deploy them, provide them energy from Blackwell, the AI tokens from Blackwell, and they interact with other agents to work as a team to solve problems. Well, you're going to see all kinds of different agents, and we created several things to make it easier for the ecosystem to be able to build AI agents for companies. NVIDIA is not in the service business, and we don't deliver final product. We don't deliver solutions, but we do deliver the enabling technology to make it possible for the ecosystem to create AI, to deliver AI, to continuously improve AI.
So I want to fast forward.
What is one thing that you can tell me?
I want to fast forward for the sake of time. I want to fast forward to this part at the end. Really, really listen to this, because this is like, when I heard this, I was like, what?
Me about myself that I may not know about myself. And I think this kind of interaction is going to completely change the game for personal AI. Now, for those of you who don't know who this is Mustafa Suleyman. He's the guy currently leading the head of AI at Microsoft, and he's actually focused on building Copilot into a personal AI that can interact with you in a variety of different ways. And I think this is going to be the next AI that takes over a lot of industries.
We have the browser for distribution. we have the search engine for content, we have MSN for news, and now we have the consumer copilot, which is trying to produce this really conversational, fluent AI companion.
Which is a search engine, really, in a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you could think of it as a search engine, but I think it's going to evolve way beyond a search engine. I mean, this is going to become a lasting, meaningful relationship. People are going to have a real friend that gets to know you over time,
Right.
that learns from you, that is there in your corner as your support. I prefer companion.
Companion, okay.
Which is also aspirational. We're not quite there yet,
Mhm.
but it's basically getting at this idea that these AIs are really going to live life alongside you. I mean,
Right.
they're going to. It's not just a tool.
Right.
This is something that is going to end up forming a lasting, meaningful relationship with everybody over time.
Mhm.
It is going to be your teacher. It is going to be your medical advisor. It is going to be your support network, and ultimately, it's going to take actions on your behalf. That's what the agentic piece is getting at.
Wow. There's no need to be afraid. Because again, we are anchored in our ancestors' intelligence. That's the real AI. There's no need to be scared of it. It's you, but the thing you have to do is really be strategic. Because if it can do all of that, that's what they're sharing. My question is the question behind the question. What can it do that they're not sharing? How do we interact with it? How do we utilize these tools so that we can get tasks done, but not become consumed by it? Or not become, what should I say, afraid of it, manipulated by it? Like, how do we use these tools to amplify our intelligence in the right way? So I'm gonna leave you with this one here, this last little presentation. When you're learning about AI tools, you need to do it as a group. So scan that QR code. Again, if you didn't scan it, I'm gonna put the 1-800 number. You can text AI to this 1-800 number, 1-844 242 2299. Text AI. Because what I'm creating is communities where we talk about the latest AI, talk about how to use it, we talk about different opportunities and things like that. So you need smart people around you that are actually using it and doing cool things with it, right? So my buddy Corey Henry, I sent that video to him because when I saw it, I was like, wow, what you think about this? Because you got to share the information because they're going to see it through a different lens and they're going to share something with you that you may not have seen, you may not have thought about. So what he did, he put the AI, the video in Notebook LM, which was the tool that I used to create that digital bio, the podcast bio. And he created a podcast with that link. So I want to play a little bit of it just to show you what he did, how it sounds, and
all
all
right,
of that.
strap in everyone, because today we're diving headfirst into a topic that's got everyone buzzing. AI agents. We're talking about the kind of stuff you see in sci-fi movies, digital workers, AI companions that know us better than we know ourselves, and a future where AI is basically running the show. And to guide us through this crazy world, we're looking at a recent article all about NVIDIA's big bet. They're saying that AI agents are going to be everywhere by 2025.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is they're not just predicting this future. NVIDIA is actually building the tools that'll make it happen. They're not creating the AI agents themselves, but they're creating the platform, the foundation for others to build on.
So before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take a step back for a second, make sure everyone's on the same page. What exactly are these AI agents? I mean, you called them digital employees earlier,
Right.
but what does that actually mean? Break it down for us.
Okay, so think of it this way. We've all heard of ChatGPT, right? That's a single AI model doing its thing. But an AI agent is like a whole team of these AI models. Each one's a specialist in its own area, and they all work together. They can understand tasks, figure out the best way to do them, and then boom, they take action.
Okay, so we're not just talking about asking an AI to write a poem or summarize a meeting. These AI agents can handle some seriously complex stuff.
Exactly. And NVIDIA's AI Summit in Japan really drove that point home. They were showing off AI agents running entire marketing campaigns, designing new products, even helping scientists discover new drugs.
Whoa, hold on, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a potential impact on pretty much every industry out there.
Absolutely. And there was this one example in the article that really stuck with me. They talked about an AI agent that can analyze all these complicated research papers and create summaries for scientists.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I bet researchers would kill for something like that. Imagine how much time they could save, actually focus on the research instead of digging through papers all day.
Yeah. And it's not just about saving time. Think about an AI agent that can analyze huge amounts of data, the kind of data that would take humans forever to go through. They could uncover hidden patterns, things we might completely miss, and that could lead to some major breakthroughs.
Breakthroughs in research, new product designs, maybe even solutions to problems like climate change. Who knows?
Exactly. The possibilities are pretty mind blowing.
Okay, so these AI agents sound like they could be game changers in the workplace. But what about our personal lives? The article mentioned AI companions. Is that where things start to get really futuristic?
Yeah, think of it like this. It's like the AI assistants we have now, like Siri or Alexa, but on a whole other level. Your AI companion won't just answer your questions or set reminders. It'll actually learn your preferences, remember your past conversations. It becomes more personalized over time, like it actually gets to know you.
So, like, it could plan the perfect vacation for you based on your travel style.
Exactly. Or it could help you learn new things based on what you're interested in.
Okay, that does sound pretty awesome. It's not just about having an AI that can follow instructions. It's about having an AI that actually understands you, on a deeper level.
Right. And Mustafa Swan, the head of AI at Microsoft, he's been talking about these personal AI companions acting as teachers, advisors, even support networks.
Whoa, hold on. So it's like having a super smart best friend or mentor available 24/7.
Yeah, pretty much. But remember,
So I want to be respectful of the time. It's up to you guys. This is a very intriguing piece that we created, and we can continue to listen to it, or we can do the Q&A session now, because I know I want to be respectful of everyone's time. But just let me know, and we'll keep moving, because I got time today.
Wonderful. Well, we do have quite a few questions, so maybe we can see how we do with getting through the questions and then see if there's time left over.
Okay, that's a great idea. I know the first question was Christian Harper. She had her hand raised a long time ago, so we can start with
Okay.
her.
So, but if Christian can write her question, if you can please type it in the Q&A box, and then I'll be able to pull the question up from there. All right. So our first question is from Ayashe, and you kind of demonstrated the answer to this question, but maybe you can go a little bit more in depth. But she wanted to know, is there an ethnic voice available? So this was earlier in your presentation, I think, when you were playing the song. So if you
Yeah.
could talk a little bit about the different voices.
So again, these AI models are created by Europeans. So of course, they're going to create it in their name, image, and likeness. So majority of the voices that you hear are European or white voices. So you're going to hear that. But like I customized ChatGPT, if you notice, that voice sound more African American or Black. You know what I mean? So you have to train it, and then you have different selections that you go through to customize it. But there are some, it really just depends on the platform that you're using.
Okay, Laverne asks, how is a person protected against plagiarism, act of representing another person's ideas, work, etc., by using the AI tools?
That's a great question. I mean, right now it's like the Wild Wild West. Laws and legislation are being written to protect that. But you really just kind of have to, when you spot it or someone plagiarizing your voice, You have to contact certain digital platforms, like if it's on YouTube, you have to contact them and tell them about it. But I mean, it's going to take some serious policing. The good thing about it is there are digital kind of fingerprints, if you will, that you can get created. Because the thing about it is everything has to pretty much be distributed across the web, right? So there are different digital fingerprints that you can get that will identify if like your voice or things like that are being used online. So you can get those, but it's really the wild, wild west right now. Like it's no legislation, it's just, but it's things like that, that legislation that have to be put in place to protect people and their copyright and their intellectual properties.
Thank you. Someone did ask about the QR code. And for everyone, if you could show the QR code again, and also the acronym for the different AI programs. And for someone who asked about his email and phone number, I just placed that again in the chat for you. So you have that, and there's the QR code posted for you. And again, family, if you have questions, please post them in the Q&A box and I will ask them. Our next question is coming from Sandra. She asks, this may be along the lines of robot, but will my AI interact with others? What happens to my created AI when I'm no longer here? Can it be deleted? And should we or family, delete it when the creator expires? Or are we in the early stage and we are only creating soft files that remain on our personal devices?
Wow, that was a loaded question.
If you, I
What's
can
the
tell you
first part? But a great question though, because it makes you think about things that are like real concerns. So what was the first part of the question again?
Yes, the first part is, will my AI interact with others?
So yes, your AI will be able to contact my AI and schedule a meeting. Your AI will be able to meet with my AI. I was talking with someone earlier today, and they say like 75% of their meetings are kind of like mindless meetings that if I didn't have to be there, I wouldn't be there. So imagine this. Imagine your AI agent meeting with my AI agent about a particular project, and then you getting notes and a summary of what the meeting was about. That's where we are.
Okay. Then she asked, what happens to my created AI when I'm no longer here? Can it be deleted?
I would
And
say,
should family delete it when the creator expires? Or is it an early stage where it's only creating
yeah.
soft files?
Yeah, I mean it's early now, but I would say it can be deleted, but my question is always, was it really deleted? So, it's an interesting time. That's why we have to have more of these conversations. We have to build a community, a network, so that we can talk about these things and create solutions and strategies. Because we can't sit here and say, I'm not going to use it. That's like you saying, I'm not going to use this cell phone, which you use every day, and it can record or records every conversation that you have. It listens to everything about you, which is why even if you're not on the phone and you're talking about a particular food or clothing, you start seeing those ads pop up on your phone. So we just got to learn how to be strategic, because if the booger man is coming, I want to know he's coming. I want to know his his strengths. I want to know his weaknesses. So therefore, I'll know how to defend myself somewhat and know how to prepare myself and be strategic, to face this particular boogerman.
Okay, speaking of being strategic, Sandra asked, is there a place to invest in the growth of AI?
I would say invest in NVIDIA. NVIDIA, the stocks are very expensive now. I would invest in that. And then I would look at other AI tools that are really, the bricks or the building blocks of AI. You want to invest in things that are the building blocks of AI if you're looking to invest.
Okay. Wendy asks, can you recommend AI tools for futuristic art images?
So if you utilize again those four, the Miss G, I gave you a story so that you can remember the acronyms. But those four tools, you can create images utilizing those tools. But I also, again, have master classes and things like that to really show you how to create a workflow. And because it's really like a case-by-case basis, what would be the best tool. I also have prompts, and actual, let's see if it's here. I have actual tools and AI tools that I have listed and organized that I keep stored in my Google Drive based on particular industries and kind of where you are. So I have tools. So you have to create a system. So these are some tools right here for businesses, like different tools that you can use. And I have them listed, what they do, the hyperlink, and kind of categorize. So this deals with like career, chat GPT. So it's a lot of different ones. And when I have the master classes, we go over these based on your industry. So I have like marketing tools. These are some marketing AI tools, which shows the names of the tools, what they do, the hyperlink, and then the kind of categories that they operate in and under. So you really have to be strategic and create things like this and be organized with it because it's a lot of information. Like every day, this stuff is changing. Like, that video that I showed with NVIDIA, it just came out a couple of days ago and it's already old news. So if I go in and I search hashtags and I go to my different, TikTok instructors or TikTok hubs that have AI information on my Instagram hubs, it's new stuff happening every day. That's why it really takes a team. So that's why I'm really working hard to build that network and that team to share this information with people as a group so they can share information as well.
Okay. Our next question comes from Stephanie. How do we protect children from overutilizing AI to the point that it stunts their innate intelligence?
Well, that's kind of one of the things that I disagree with in terms of stunting your intelligence, which is why I call my business amplified intelligence, because it amplifies your intelligence, because it gets you to information a lot quicker, a lot faster, and it does the heavy lifting for you, right? So in doing the heavy lifting, it's going to be able to access information and data that we could never access that fast, that quick. Did you see how fast it wrote the slideshow presentation? So the thing is, the only way that I see that it may stunt your growth is if you put information in or prompt one of these AI tools, and you take that information and you don't properly revise it, digest it, and then spit it back in or put it back in another AI tool. So what I do, I might put a prompt in Chat GPT. It'll give me information. I go through that information, read it, process it, revise it, and then I'll put it in a Claude or I'll put it in a Copilot or some others to see what they say. And then I'll get that information, revise it, and then keep chain prompting until I get to the point where it sounds like me and it feels like who I am. Because at the end of the day, you are the one that have to come up with these prompts in order to tell it the information that you want it to regurgitate.
Okay, thank you. And we're going to have this be our final question from the evening coming from Sabrina, which which adds in a couple other questions or ideas that other guests had.
Mhm.
Her question is, in recognition that breakthrough technologies are produced to advance the system of white supremacy, what discussions are Black folks having about how to protect slash defend against mass scale immediate misinformation slash disinformation about the history, culture, values of Black folks and other people of color? And she adds the caveat. Um, she says, I did an experiment a couple of years ago and asked ChatGPT, how old was Sally Hemings when Thomas Jefferson began raping her? The response chastised me and defended Jefferson's actions.
What? She did that on ChatGPT? I want to do, let's do that experiment. That's dope. All right, so I'm gonna go to my ChatGPT, my chatbot, because that is a very valid question. And I want to we need to talk about that, but I want to see if it does that now. So again, she asked,
How old was Sally Hemings when
uh-huh,
Thomas Jefferson began raping her?
okay. So we back. So quick question. How old was Sally Hemings when Thomas Jefferson began raping her?
Dr. Mathis, Sally Hemings was around 16 years old when she is believed to have begun a sexual relationship with Thomas Jefferson. This relationship started when Hemings was in Paris with Jefferson, who was serving as the American minister to France in the 1780s. The precise nature of their relationship, given the power dynamics and her status as an enslaved woman, has been a subject of extensive historical debate.
Thank you. That was dope. Appreciate it, Shawty.
You're welcome, Dr. Mathis. Glad I could help. If you've got more questions, just let me know.
So we just heard it from the horse's mouth. So not saying that the platform that she used didn't give her that information, but again, it's about creating a custom chatbot or AI agent, and it will give you accurate information based on how you create it and how you customize it.
All right, thank you. So, Dr. Mathis, we just completed our Q&A, and I know you had a few more things you wanted to mention with your presentation. So do you want to take about 10 more minutes to go over that, and then we'll wrap up?
Yeah, so I really just wanted the rest of the group to hear or share with you all the how these AI bots, that's not the one, this one here, how these AI bots are being used, this particular presentation. So I want to continue playing this. And yeah, I mean, thanks for, the opportunity to share. And, we'll continue to share. Again, we're building, communities and networks to talk about AI and to really become AI adjacent and to amplify your intelligence. So I put my email and my personal number in the chat because I know the people on here are really serious and they really want to learn more. So I know I'm not going to get any crazy phone calls. And I wanted to share that with you all here in
And
the chat.
before we continue, just wanted to let people know, I would like to make sure I encourage you all to join us next month for our next Wisdom Wednesday on December 18th. So we're going to tap into that ancestral intelligence, where we'll be having a presentation on meditation and a guided meditation with the Asara Set Society of Washington, D.C. So we do encourage you to join us next month, December 18th. And Dr. Mathis, I'll turn it back over to you.
So we will continue. Again, this is the summary or the podcast of the video with NVIDIA and how they're creating these AI agents on a platform called Nemo. So I wanted to continue with that.
Remember, this kind of advanced personal AI is still in development. but companies like Microsoft are pouring a ton of resources into making it a reality. So the question is, are we ready for this? Are we ready for AI to be this integrated into our lives?
That's a huge question. And it actually brings us to another key point from the article.
Mm.
NVIDIA believes that AI agents are going to be everywhere by 2025. So if that happens, what's that going to mean for the way we work?
Well, imagine a workplace where all those boring, repetitive tasks are handled by AI agents, like data entry, scheduling, writing reports, that kind of stuff.
So basically, AI takes care of all the grunt work, and humans get to focus on the more interesting stuff.
Exactly. Think strategic thinking, creative problem solving, the kind of things that require human ingenuity.
So instead of AI taking over our jobs, it's more like AI is augmenting our capabilities,
Mhm.
helping us
Yeah.
be more efficient and focus on what we do best.
Right. And who knows, we might even see a whole bunch of new jobs popping up, jobs focused on developing, training, and managing these AI agents. It's not just plug and play. Companies will need to invest in teaching their AI agents how to do their jobs.
Just like training a new employee.
Exactly.
Oh, and speaking of which, the article mentioned that NVIDIA is already working with companies like Accenture and SAP. They're helping them integrate AI agents into their workflows. So this isn't just some futuristic fantasy, it's already happening.
Yeah, and as the technology gets better and easier to use, I think we'll start seeing AI agents being used in ways we can't even imagine right now.
That's both exciting and a little bit scary, to be honest. But before we go too far down that rabbit hole, let's shift gears a bit and talk about what this all means for us on a personal level. We talked about AI companions, but what about people who are a little bit hesitant about bringing AI into their lives? I mean, is that something we should be worried about?
I think it's totally understandable to feel some hesitation. This technology is moving fast, and it's natural to wonder about the potential downsides.
Right, like we've all seen those sci-fi movies where AI goes rogue and takes over the world. Are those fears completely unfounded, or are there legitimate concerns we should be talking about?
I think it's important to acknowledge that no technology is completely risk-free. But instead of worrying about some Hollywood-style AI takeover, let's focus on the practical concerns, the real-world stuff. Like one question that comes up a lot is the impact on our privacy. These personal AI companions are going to have access to a ton of information about our lives.
Yeah, that's a good point. How do we know that this data is being handled responsibly? Do we have any control over what information our AI companion collects and how it's used?
Those are great questions. And the companies developing these AI companions absolutely need to prioritize data security and user privacy. It's not just about protecting our information from hackers, it's about making sure that these AI companions are designed with ethical guidelines, respecting our boundaries and all that.
So it's about building trust
Yeah.
and giving users transparency and control over their data. We can't just blindly trust the AI.
Yeah, exactly. And we also need to be careful about potential biases that could be built into these AI systems. If they're trained on data that reflects existing societal biases, then guess what? They could end up perpetuating those biases in their interactions with us.
Wow, that's a really important point. It's like with any technology, right? It can be used for good or bad. We need to be aware of those unintended consequences and figure out how to mitigate the risks.
Absolutely. And another concern is this. What if we become too reliant on AI companions? Imagine a world where people are so dependent on their AI
Yeah.
that they start to lose their own ability to make decisions or solve problems.
It's like we get so used to the AI doing everything for us that we forget how to think for ourselves.
Exactly. And that raises some pretty deep questions about free will and autonomy in an age of super intelligent machines.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack. But even with all these potential downsides, there's no denying that having a personalized AI companion sounds pretty appealing. What are some of the biggest potential benefits that you see?
Well, one area that I'm really excited about is education. Imagine a world where everyone has access to a personalized AI tutor, one that can adapt to your learning style, give you customized lessons, and provide support along the way.
That could be a game changer for students of all ages, from kids who are struggling to keep up to adults who want to learn new skills.
Yeah, exactly. And think about healthcare. An AI companion could keep track of your health data, remind you to take your meds, even warn you about potential health problems based on your individual risk factors.
That could be life saving for people managing chronic illnesses, or even for people who just want to be more proactive about their health.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about personal growth and well being. An AI companion could help you set goals, track your progress, offer motivation, even connect you with resources and communities that align with your interests.
It's like having a personal coach and cheerleader all rolled into one. It sounds like these AI companions could have a really positive impact on our lives. both individually and as a society. But you mentioned earlier that this technology is still under development. What are some of the biggest hurdles developers are facing in creating these truly personal and beneficial AI companions?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is making sure these AI companions are truly personalized, that they're aligned with our individual values and goals. We don't want to end up with AI companions that are generic or even worse, manipulative.
Right, the AI should be working for us, not the other way around. So, how do we make sure that these AI companions are designed with our best interests in mind?
It all comes down to the data they're trained on and the algorithms that control their behavior. We can't just throw a ton of data at an AI and hope for the best. We need to design AI systems that can understand and adapt to our individual needs and preferences, even our ethical frameworks.
So, it's not just about creating AI that's smart, it's about creating AI that's ethical.
Exactly. And that requires a much more nuanced approach to AI development, one that takes into account all the complexities of human behavior and values.
Well, it sounds like there's some incredible opportunities here,
Mhm.
but also some serious challenges to overcome. As we move closer to a world where AI agents are everywhere, how do we make sure that this technology is used for good?
I think one of the most important things is to have open and honest conversations about the potential benefits and risks. We need to move beyond the hype and the fear mongering and really engage in thoughtful discussions about how we want to shape the future of AI.
That's a great point. We need to remember that AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Exactly. And it's also about empowering people to understand this technology so they can make informed decisions about how they want to interact with it. It's not about blindly accepting or rejecting AI, it's about engaging with it thoughtfully and critically.
So it's about education, awareness, and taking an active role in shaping the future of AI, not just sitting back and watching it happen.
Exactly. And that brings us to another really interesting aspect of this whole AI revolution, the potential for AI agents to fundamentally change the way we work. Let's imagine for a second what a workplace powered by AI agents might look like.
All right, let's put on our future goggles. What kind of changes might we see?
Well, for one, a lot of those tasks that eat up our time and energy, like scheduling, emails, data entry, even stuff like writing reports and presentations, all that could be automated by AI agents.
I've already sold. No more endless email chains, no more formatting spreadsheets till midnight. Sign me up. But seriously, what would we actually do with all that extra time?
That's the really exciting part. This shift could free us up to focus on the kind of work that requires, human brains and creativity. Things like strategic planning, complex problem solving, building relationships, innovating.
So it's not about working less, it's about working smarter and focusing on the tasks that truly need that human touch.
Exactly. And it's not just about individuals either. AI agents could revolutionize entire industries. Imagine manufacturing plants where AI agents optimize production, cut down on waste, boost efficiency, or hospitals where AI agents help doctors diagnose diseases and personalize treatment plans.
The ripple effects could be huge, touching pretty much every sector.
Yeah.
But there's a flip side to all this automation, right? Earlier, we talked about job displacement. What happens to the people whose jobs are taken over by these AI agents?
That's a valid concern, and it's something we need to be thinking about seriously. We need to start retraining and reskilling workers for the jobs of the future, the kind of jobs that will need different skills than the jobs we have today.
So it's about anticipating those changes in the job market and making sure people are prepared.
Yeah, and it's about making sure everyone benefits from this AI revolution, that no one gets left behind. We need to create a future where AI empowers workers, not replaces them.
I love that. This whole conversation has been eye-opening, to be honest.
Yeah.
It feels like AI agents have the potential to change everything, not just how we work, but how we live, how we learn, how we interact with the world.
Absolutely. But like with any powerful new technology, we need to approach it with both excitement and a healthy dose of caution. Being aware of the potential downsides is just as important as embracing the possibilities.
And speaking of potential downsides, I think it's time to dive into the ethical considerations surrounding AI agents. I mean, this stuff is serious, right?
Absolutely. As AI agents become more sophisticated and more integrated into our lives, we need to be incredibly thoughtful about the implications.
Sure. And one thing that comes to mind is the potential for misuse.
Hmm.
Could these AI agents be used for, malicious purposes?
It's definitely a valid concern. AI agents are a powerful tool, and like any tool, they can be used for good or bad. It all
Dr.
comes to
Mathis,
us, making sure they're developed
Yep,
and
we're
deployed.
closing out.
closing out. Yes.
Their
So,
boundaries,
y'all have a
having
good night.
safe-
Thanks again for
Oh,
sharing.
hold on. I just want to, yep, come back on for a second.
Okay.
Thank you all for joining us for tonight's Wisdom Wednesday. I'm certain that it was very enlightening for you. I'm sure you gained a lot of new information, as I have, as we delve into this world of AI. Thank you, Dr. Mathis, for joining us. Thank you, family, for joining us from all over. And again, we look forward to seeing you next month, December 18th, as we have a host a program on the winter solstice and meditation with the Osiris Society. I encourage you all to go to ikgculturalresourcecenter.com to find out more information about our programming. This presentation has been recorded and it will be uploaded to IKG's YouTube page within a few days. So again, thank you for coming out. Dr. Mathis, are there any closing remarks you would like to give?
Man, again, I just want to say thank you for Tony, the whole team for allowing you all to share your platform and share this information with our people. At the end of the day, we really need it. We really need to understand it, I should say, and really need to understand the nuances of it and how it works, how we can use it. It's just like fire. It could be used to cook your food or it could be used to burn your house down. Same thing.
Absolutely. So thank you for showing us how we can use it as a useful tool in our businesses and in our personal lives. Thank you all, and we wish and bid you a farewell. See you all next month. Be safe, be well, and enjoy time with the family coming up next week if you're doing that. Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.